Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you our family's favorite chicken taco recipe. I cook it in the crock pot so it's super easy and convenient, and it makes a ton so that you can eat off of it for a few days. So let's get started. Right here I've got an onion, a jalapeno, I seeded it and I took out the ribs so it's not too spicy for my family, and 3 different peppers. These are the ones I had on hand, you can use whatever. And I've got some fresh garlic. I've got some olive oil in a pan already heated up on medium high, and we're just going to saute all of this. And I'm going to let this saute for about 10 minutes. While this is cooking, I like to season it with salt and pepper. This is probably about a half a teaspoon of salt, and then a few grinds of pepper, just like that. And this is almost done. Looks great. Okay, while the vegetables are sauteing, I've got in the crock pot 5 chicken breasts. I've already seasoned them with salt and pepper, and we're going to go ahead and add everything together. Perfect. Our vegetables are nice and tender and softened. And we're going to go ahead and pour this over our chicken, just like so. And then I have 1 can of rinsed and drained black beans. I think I used Bush's, whatever you have on hand. I'll dump that in. I have 1 lime cut in half. We're going to go ahead and squeeze this into here. And then we are going to use a half a teaspoon of ground cumin. Sprinkle that over the top. A half a teaspoon of garlic salt. One jar of salsa. My favorite is Old Florida, and this is hot, but it doesn't make it too spicy. I'm going to pour this over the top, just like that. And I did not have fresh cilantro on hand, but I always keep this in the refrigerator, and you can buy this in the refrigerated section at your grocery store. And this is cilantro. So I'm going to do 2 squeezes of cilantro, 1, 2, that's probably 2 tablespoons. And that is it, guys. We're gonna put the lid on, and I have this set for low for 5 hours. So in 5 hours, you're gonna have an amazing dinner. We're gonna go ahead and shred it up, and I like to serve it with Mexican rice. And I also make ground beef tacos because my kids like those as well. So I will show you guys that next. While the chicken is cooking in the crock pot, we're gonna go ahead and make my easy, delicious Mexican rice. You're gonna love this. So right here, I have half of an onion chopped up, a extra large garlic clove, and we're gonna go ahead and saute this in our pan. I've got some olive oil in the pan. I always struggle with this. I have to use my hand or I spill it everywhere. There we go. No disasters. Okay, we're going to saute this for 5 minutes. Okay, the onions are ready and the garlic. So now I'm going to add, I have 1 can of Rotel tomatoes. I drained out the liquid from the top. We're going to go ahead and add this. That is good. Okay, and now we're going to add 1 1/4 cups of rice. I had an extra quarter, so I went ahead and added it. So we have 1 1/4 cups of rice. And that's just basmati rice. I'm going to stir that in there. And next we'll add the chicken broth. Well, chicken stock. Okay, now let's add the chicken stock. I just used the chicken stock that I get from Costco. And we need, if I have 1 1/4, we need 2 1/2 cups. Perfect, we have 2.5 cups. We're gonna stir this all together, let it come to a boil, put the lid on and let it cook for 15 minutes. It's been 15 minutes and our rice is done. This looks great. Now I'm gonna show you how I make spiced cauliflower, Mexican cauliflower. It's a little bit spicy, but I love it. For any vegetarians out there, this is a perfect way to have taco night without any meat. I just like it as a side. So first we're gonna take a bag of cauliflower. This was 3 small bags of cauliflower chopped up. And we're gonna add olive oil to it. I would guess about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. So it's nice and wet. Being lazy, I'm using minced garlic for this. We need the equivalent of 4 cloves of garlic, so that's 4 small teaspoons. Next we need a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of paprika. And a teaspoon of ground cumin. Perfect. Next we're going to use a half a teaspoon of turmeric, or turmeric, probably how you say it. And this is where the spice comes in. Half a teaspoon of red pepper or cayenne. And I use a little less because this gets a little spicy. Probably a quarter of a teaspoon for me, but it calls for a half teaspoon. And finally, freshly ground black pepper, half teaspoon. Perfect. Okay. This is why I love to use Ziploc bags, is you can mix everything nice and neat in your bag. Now it's perfectly mixed together. I have a small baking sheet lined with parchment paper just to keep the mess easy to clean up when we're done. And we're going to dump this right on top of there. It's a little dry, so I'm going to add a little extra olive oil. Not much, just a drizzle. And we're going to bake this at 450 degrees until it's cooked through about 20 to 25 minutes. Perfect. Now I'm going to make the beef tacos. This is what the kids love the most, and it is so easy to make. Everyone's got their own taco recipe, but this is the way we make it in our house. Take a jar of salsa, whatever you like the best. Honestly, they didn't have my favorite. I like Old Florida the best, but I just picked up some Green Wise medium salsa. It doesn't really matter. We're going to spice this up a little bit. We're going to add a teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of pepper. Half a teaspoon of ground cumin. And a teaspoon of chili powder. A heaping one. And then I don't have fresh cilantro on hand, but I have this that comes in the bottle, and you can find this in the refrigerated section. It's perfect in a pinch. I'm going to do about half a tablespoon. And we are going to just take this and mix it on high for about 30 seconds. Okay, I've already browned up 3 pounds of ground beef. It's a lot, but we'll eat off of this for several days. And we're going to go ahead and pour what I just mixed over the top. We're just going to mix this all the way through until it heats up for about 10-15 minutes max, and we will be ready for taco night. The chicken is done. It's been 5 hours, and we're going to go ahead and shred it up. I just take 2 forks and shred it up inside the crock pot, just like this. Okay, the chicken is now shredded and it's ready to go. What's great about this is it's super easy to make in the crock pot. It doesn't take very long to prepare, and it's a great meal for entertaining, or also if you have to bring someone a meal if they're sick or they just had a baby, you can always make this and bring it to a family in need. The cauliflower is nice and roasted, so we're going to pull it out. Perfect. Everything is finally ready for taco night. Let me just walk you through what all we have. We have the ground beef tacos. We have Mexican rice. We have roasted cauliflower. We have shredded chicken. And here's all the toppings that our family loves. That's obviously whatever you guys like. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on taco night and love it as much as our family does.